This video is going to be a continuation from my previous video that covered episode 1 and 2. In that video, I talked about the first mission, which was the up and down battle, which is essentially a way to introduce all the contestants of the show. I think this is the first real mission where we actually get to see what the show is all about. The mission is called the 7 vs 7 battle, that all the 28 contestants will be divided into teams of 7, with 2 teams performing and competing with one song, and the other 2 teams will compete with another song. These 2 songs will dub as the signal songs of the show. One of them is called Charismatic and the other one's called Snap. Now, I said this in my first Queendom Puzzle video. I honestly don't find either of these songs very appealing or even subjectively good, but if I hear them too much throughout the show, I won't mind it. And since I have had to listen to them a few times while editing this video, honestly, they have both grown on me, so they are, decent songs. But coming back to the 7 vs 7 battle, all 28 contestants will be picking one of the 2 songs on the basis of their ranking, and then the contestant with the highest score in the song group will get to puzzle, essentially. Now, what does puzzling mean? It's like the name suggests, the person will put members into 2 groups. The pick group consisting of members they want on their team and want to perform this song with, versus the drop group with members they don't want on their team and they don't want to perform this song with. So for all the girls, all of them except rank 28, her name is Soyeon, she's from S, she doesn't get to pick her song because by the time her turn comes, all of the slots for the Snap song are filled up, so she automatically gets put in the Charismatic song group. Except her, everyone else gets to pick their song. Now, to decide who gets to puzzle, you essentially have to pick the person who has the highest score in the song group. Now, these are all the contestants and these are the songs that they chose. As you can see, Bora and Jiwoo are the highest ranks in both Snap and Charismatic respectively. So they will each choose who is in the pick team and the drop team. Now, the show is very ruthless with the way that they do this. I mean, they do get to go into what's called the puzzling room, and they have, that space to pick the teams. But it's being live telecasted to the other contestants who are sitting in the groups and watching what's happening. So they basically get to watch them either be picked or be dropped, which is a little cruel but also so entertaining from the point of view of a reality TV show. And the show does it also in a very, evil way. They edit the entire segment in a way where they're pitting these women against each other. And I think for what it is, if you can acknowledge it that way, it should be fine. I know people have, had lots of emotions about this on the internet. People have made big posts about this member not getting picked or this person not picking said person. But, if you look at it at face value, it's just something someone has to do. Someone has to go in the pick team, someone has to go in the drop team. So, look at it as what it is. Coming to the teams, we have, let's do Bora first. She is picking for the Snap song, and in her pick team she has Yeon, Yoram, Sangha, Yuki, Bora herself, Rina and Sharon. And for the drop team she has Ellie, Miru, Doa or AOH on me, K, Hweso, Faye and Judy. So she picks her teams. Honestly, I think any arrangement of 7 for this song would have worked. I think all of the members here are, ones that could fit the vibe of the song, could fit the concept. So any variation of 7 would work, and that shows, with the performances that both these teams have put up. I think both of them do a good job because the members all fit, all of the concepts. But then we have the charismatic team, and for that we have Jiwoon who picks. So who she picks in her pick team is Jihan, Wooyeon, Jiwoon, that is herself, Nana, Soyeon, Jiwoo, and Chaeyeon. And who's in her drop team is Jui, Suyeon, Zoa, Yeonhee, Sojin, and Soyeon. So she also puts Heron from Laboom in the drop team, but both her and Chaeyoung quit the show at this point of time, so they don't make it into the signal song performances. So I'm not gonna include them in any point after this section. So those are the teams. For charismatic, I don't think I can say the same thing as Snap. I think she first of all did a very good job at picking the pick team because they are substantially stronger than the drop team. They do a better job. Even with the performance video, I think the pick team does a better job than the drop team in this. But that's an overview evaluation of the entire thing. What I want to do next is essentially put each member and each position against each other and see which one does better, because that's what the show is going to be doing in the next episode. The 7 vs 7 battle is essentially to gauge which one does a better job at which position in which song. So let's get to comparing. Again, let's do the Snap team first. In the main vocalist positions, we have K and Bora. I think my choice for this is pretty obvious. Bora, in my opinion, is a substantially better performer than K. Honestly, I think K fits the more elegant concept. I don't think she fits this edgy girl crush concept, and from the little bit I do know about lovelyz, I know their concept was also more on the cuter side. So I don't know why she would pick girl crush, but here we are. And I think she just lacks the ability to pull off the facial expressions or the vibe needed for this performance. I think Bora does very well with that. She's very diverse with the concepts she can pull off, and even though Bora does a better job in more brighter and elegant concepts, I still think she's able to do a good job here. And same goes for the vocals. I know Kay is praised for her vocals a lot, but honestly I prefer Bora's vocals. I think she does a better job in this song, so I think I have to give my point to Bora over here. Then in sub-vocal 1, we have both the high key girls. Just watch Mnet make this into so much bigger of a drama than it needs to be in the next episode. Mnet, I'm on to you, okay? For the both of them, though, I think they both do a good job. The intro section for the Snap song is done by both of them, and I think Reena does a better job at that. I don't know what Lisa's trying to do. That lip bite is so cringy and forced. It looks so bad. Like, please never do that again. But for the rest of the performance, it was Lisa who did a better job. I think she's able to capture your attention a lot more than Reena does. She has that charisma to her a lot more than Reena, and she's, I don't know, just a better performer, I think. She has amazing stage presence, and it's very captivating when she's in the center position. So for all these reasons, I pick her. Then we move to sub vocal 2. Here we have Yoram versus Doha. Honestly, they both do a great job. There are moments when Doha stands out, but there are moments when Yoram stands out too. I mean, if you look at that dance move that they're comparing, and I think they show this in the episode 3 preview as well, but where she does that leg spinning dance thing in the back, you can see that Doha does the choreography much better. But the way Yoram interacts with the camera during that section draws attention to her more than the choreography that Doha is getting right. And substantially speaking, this one, Yoram is a better dancer than Doha, so she's able to pull off the other aspects of the performance better. And vocally also, I like Yoram's singing voice better, so I pick her for sub vocal 2. Sub vocal 3, we have Cherin and Miru, and honestly both of them are pretty forgettable in this performance, but I would say Cherin is more forgettable, so I pick Miru. Okay, now the part that I was dreading, the main rapper positions. We have Yeon and Faye. And honestly, please don't make me choose. I don't want to choose between the two of them. This is literally my Sophie's choice. I love both these women. I mean, look at them. They do such a good job with the performances. But if we're speaking objectively, Yeon is a better rapper than Faye is. And she should, because of that technicality, get the point. But Faye puts up such a good fight though, like in terms of the dancing, in terms of the stage presence, and the way they're both so captivating when they're in the center. Just because Yeon is a better rapper, I would give her the point here. For sub rapper 1, then we have Yuki versus Ellie, and I am so sorry that I ever underestimated this girl, because she literally killed her butts. Like, Ellie was so good here. I'm really a big fan of Yuki, but I'm sorry, she literally got to do more because she was forgotten. I didn't remember her here at all. Ellie did a great job here. Great job. I don't know why Bora thought she doesn't fit the concept. I think she fits the concept here pretty well. And the last positions that we have for the Snap song, we have sub rapper 2, which is Sungha versus Jury, that's her name. This is a pretty obvious pick. Sungha gets the point. She is a better rapper than Jury, even sounds better. Maybe Jury is able to do a better job, little bit in stage presence, but I think Sungha overall does the better job. Also, does anyone else notice the resemblance between Sungha and ex-NMIXX member Jinny? Honestly, they look very similar to me. Is it just me, or does someone else see it as well? But yeah, that was for the Snap performance. Now coming to the charismatic performance. In the main vocal position, we have Jihan versus Jui. Another duo I don't want to have to pick from, but honestly speaking, I wish Jui would have chosen the Snap song. I think she can pull off that concept much better than this. It's not that she does a bad job here, but I just think there are people like Jihan who fit this concept much more, and that risks her being overshadowed by them like she does here. I mean, Jihan fits this concept so perfectly with that perfectly placed dimple. She was made to do concepts this bright and this bubbly. So I think Jihan does do a better job than Jui here. But there's a point when they do that high note where their vocals together go so well. It's a shame that they're in two opposite groups. I mean, if they were in the same group, it would have been so cool. Like, listen to the way their vocals sound together. I mean, it's literal perfection. I wish they were on the same group. But then we go for sub vocal 1. We have Wooyeon and Suyeon, and I'll pick Wooyeon here. I think I can now see why she would try to attempt a Taeyeon song for her, up and down battle, because her vocals are pretty good. She is pretty stable and strong with her vocals, while also, fitting the concept and being pretty soft and bubbly here. I really liked the way she embodied the concept. I think she should do cuter concepts. It suits her really well. Then for sub vocal 2, we have Jiwoon and Zoa. And honestly, I think it's so unfair for them to put, like a maknae versus the seasoned idol on the show. It's not really fair because Jiwoon is literally miles ahead of her in stage presence and, dancing and singing. It's really unfair to put the two of them there. Like, she was talking about how that was her up-down performance. Zoa's up-down performance was literally her first time performing alone. So, I don't know. I think it's a little unfair to do that. But, Jiwoon gets the point. She's so good. She could literally outperform like 90% of contestants on the show. She's just that good. Then for sub vocal 3, we have Nana versus Yeonhee. This is the easiest pick. I mean, the section that Nana does in the song, like her parts, that's literally the most watched part of the video on YouTube. I mean, that tells you everything you need to know. She's my pick in this section. And then for the last two sections, for sub vocal 4, we have the other two weekly members, Soon and Soojin. And then for the main rapper position, again, we have the two triple S girls, Jiwoo and Soyeon. And I know I'm not gonna make a big deal about this because there are like 3 positions now where group members are competing against each other. And it is a difficult situation if you have to think about it, right? Like, imagine having to compete against your own group member. I don't like that. I mentioned this in my first Queendom Puzzle video also, why I don't think it's like fair to have, multiple members of the same group, because you're essentially pitting them against each other. But yeah, I do think I'm not gonna make a bigger deal out of this than it needs to be. But if it comes to picking for set positions, for sub vocal 4, I think Soojin does a better job than Soon. I think vocally she's more talented than Soon. Soon maybe does a better part at like the dancing sections, but Soojin, she definitely does more vocally, and she's able to capture your attention with stage presence a lot more than just doing good technical dancing wise the way Soon does. And in terms of picking main rapper, again, Jiwoo does a better job as a main rapper. Even though the song doesn't need a main rapper, she's able to, make the part her own. So overall, it adds to the entire vibe of the performance, in my opinion. But in terms of overall, which teams would win? For the Snap performance, I think it could be either of the teams, if I'm being completely honest. I think either of the teams could win depending on who the judges prefer and what their preference is. I do think the pick team has a slight advantage compared to the drop team. But again, I think it could be anybody's game in the Snap team. But for the charismatic team, I think it's pretty obvious that it's the big team that's going to win. The drop team is weaker compared to them in this performance, so yeah, that's pretty obvious. But yeah, that's about it for me. That's what I have to say. Tell me what you have to say. What did you think about the performances? Who do you think will win? There's also more information about the third mission that's already out. I'm pretty sure they're shooting it right now, so it makes sense why the leaks have already come up. But I don't know if I'm going to make a full video about it, or maybe I'll just make a short about it. But you should expect that soon. Also, check out my other videos on Queendom Puzzle if you haven't already. But yeah, that's all from me. Thanks for watching. Bye.